Hi, welcome to You, Me and Mediumship. What am I going to talk about tonight? Well, I want to try and put some logic, I guess, into our work as mediums. So I guess you would call it a bit of de-fluffing, I guess. We need, and I think it really does help. It certainly does help the students that I work with every day of the week. We try and put some logic into what it is we are practicing. It's easy to make or to turn the art, if you like, of mediumship into something, to be quite honest, that is totally overwhelming. For some, it becomes totally frustrating, confusing. What one tutor teaches, another teaches the opposite. What one tutor says is right, the other tutor says is wrong. I'm sure you come across it all the time, and no doubt some things I say would be dismissed by another teacher, and then it just becomes one big mess, and like I say, can be very frustrating. So what I try and do when I teach is to put some logic into what it is we are doing. It can become totally confusing, and it's so annoying to hear some of the things that the students tell me that they've been taught in the past or what they've heard. And I just try and simplify what it is we are doing as mediums. We hear or we watch demonstrations of mediumship, the way that practice is described whilst people are on stage, when they talk of a queue of spirits standing behind them, and then you'll get a fledgling medium wondering why they can't see this queue. I'm doing something wrong, I must be doing something completely wrong, I can't see a queue of energies behind me, of spirits behind me. And it's things like that cause confusion. So why is it when we are doing demonstrations that we don't see this massive queue of energies behind us, of spirits stand there in their Sunday best, in their pajamas, in whatever it was they passed in? Why is it we can't see that? Why can't the audience see that? Why is this person so special and gifted that they can see all these energies, but we can't? Now, I'm not degrading, and I apologise if it sounds that way, but I'm not degrading the way people work. I'm just trying to put some common sense and logic into what it is we are doing. When we are stood there, when we are doing demonstration of mediumship, yes, there will be a number of energies wishing to pass on their messages to their loved ones. The impression of those energies around that medium are simply impressions. Now, what do I mean by that? When an energy comes through to medium, they will, through that thought vibration, that energy of thought vibration that is merging with that energy of the medium, they will give an impression of what they looked like in life, obviously. It is a thought vibration. It is an impression that is placed upon that medium. Energy in its purest form, that of even our loved ones that have passed, is of light, is of purity. It is life source itself. A facet, if you like, of that life source that is presented to you. Now, if we could see it in its rawest of forms, if you like, it would be pure, brilliant light and energy. Now, obviously, as a medium, we cannot describe Grandad as a big ball of white light. That just wouldn't work, would it? For a start, we wouldn't know as mediums who we are communicating with. We would not be able to necessarily link certain personalities of a ball of light to the sitter. We will get elements of personality, we will sense that, we will feel that from the energy itself. But we like to be able to give a description of that person, that spirit, to the sitter. In order to do that, spirit will impress upon us an image of what they look like whilst in body. They are not strolling around spirit world in that realm, if you like. Spirit world as a description is something I'll talk about again another time. But they are not walking around in spirit world in their suits, in their pajamas, in whatever it was they like to be seen in. They are not in body, they are not a material, they are not matter, they are pure energy. So when we give a description to people that I've got this queue of people behind me, of spirit people behind me, then that is misleading. We have behind us or around us rather than behind us. They are not behind us. We may feel or be given that impression sometimes that there's energy behind us, but that energy is all around us. What we have is facets of life source, of energy, of spirit surrounding us whilst we're doing that demonstration. And a good practice mediums will be able to focus upon one of those energies, one of those souls, and work with it. When that is not practiced, when it is not done properly, the problem can be that we will get snippets of personality, of memory, from different energies, all at the same time without that focus. Hence, sometimes you will be giving some information to a person out there in the audience, if you like, then all of a sudden it goes wrong. 2 or 3 pieces of evidence are spot on, it's wonderful, then it drifts off and starts to go wrong. And the main reason for that normally is because you are not focused on that one energy. And that is, in a sense, is an art form on its own to be able to do that. And the way we focus is, like I've said in other videos, we communicate with that energy. We open that line of communication with the energy, and we, what I say, throw it back sometimes. So in other words, if we are given some sort of information, let me just try and think of something, say the colour of a car, for argument's sake, we then can question that. Was this blue car yours? Did this blue car belong to you? We do that mentally and quickly, it's fast. And when we do that, we are giving a kind of a flow, if you like, of communication. We're opening up that line of communication with the energy that we are focused upon. By focusing on one specific energy, then the evidence that we are giving will be much clearer, more accurate. And although we are aware of the other energies that are around us, we are focused upon this single energy and working with that energy. So many people will argue what I'm saying here. Many mediums will argue what I'm saying. I respect that. That's no problem at all. I just get, I suppose, like students sometimes get very frustrated, but it's the same for me. We need to look at things in a logic sense. Our true understanding of spirit as energy, we need to work on that. We need to understand it in order to be able to work with it in an accurate way. You know, we have heard so many stories in the past about spirit world, buildings in spirit world. We've heard things of hospitals in spirit world. Will spirit go to get better? Energy, the purity of self, that life source within self, that spirit that passes on once the body fails, does not need healing. If you passed because of cancer, when you pass, the energy does not contain cancer. There is no healing needed. The cancer is within the body, and that body you have left behind. Why on earth would you go into hospital in spirit world? Again, logic. You basically, as a medium, when you're sitting in what you call sitting in the power, I call it sitting for self and spirit. When you sit in that space, in that energy, in that love, that light, that warmth, when you are experiencing that, you begin to understand what spirit energy truly is. Because that energy is within you. The very energy of self, the soul, the spirit of self, is what you are communicating with in spirit. The very same essence. The energies that you are communicating with in spirit are the same as the energy that exists within you. Only it has a separate personality, obviously. It is somebody else. You will never communicate with spirit if you cannot communicate with self. If you do not have an understanding of the essence of self, that spirit within you, then you will never have an understanding of the essence of spirit that surrounds you. So let's de-fluff mediumship. Let's try and get some logic behind this. The energy is all around us. That conscious energy of those that have passed, our loved ones, is literally, well, it literally surrounds us. It is not a million miles away. We are not communicating with another planet here. We are communicating with energy that surrounds us, that is not that far away. And that description of that thin veil is so correct. That veil is very thin. And many people say, well, if it's that thin, why can't we all see spirit? Yes, the answer to that is quite simple, really, because we all don't understand self. We've got no understanding of self. If we can't understand self, communicate with self, and work with self, then we've got no chance of working with that energy of self of others in spirit. It is our self, our energy, our spirit, that our loved ones sense and see and impress upon. They do not impress upon the body, they impress upon the soul. And if we have that link with soul, our own soul, then we can see those impressions so much clearer. So when they impress upon us, upon that vibration, that higher vibration of spirit, when that impresses upon us, if we are in contact with self and have that understanding of self, then we will sense it and we will know what it is they are saying. There is no process. We do not need to hum or chant. We do not need to, like I've said before, and probably boring many of you to tears, we do not need to sit and meditate and go off into the woods to meet our guides, or we don't need to walk that beach and listen to the waves. We do not need that. We just need to focus upon the essence of breath itself, and we need just to sit within the experience of self, if you like, within that space, and allow spirit to work with us. The more we sit, the more in touch we become with self, the better understanding we will have of what it is we are trying to achieve when we are demonstrating mediumship. Because we will know what that energy feels like, what it is capable of. When we sit for self, when we experience that light, that life source within who we are, then we will know what to expect when we sense that life source, that spirit, that energy of those that have passed. And we'll make it so much easier for them to impress upon us what it is they want to pass on to their loved ones. I hope that helps and hasn't been too confusing. It is something I'm very passionate about, and it is basically de-fluffing mediumship and just getting people to understand that it is so simple and natural. That word natural must stick within your mind if you are an up-and-coming medium. You are not trying to do anything magical at all. There are some that are lucky and are born with that ability of mediumship. And I've been asked that question, how come people who haven't really sat but still have that capability? It's because they still have been lucky in the respect that they have not lost that ability to be in touch with self. And I think that's the older souls that step into this realm. Those older souls, I believe, bring with them an element of self that emanates from them naturally. They do not need to sit. So it looks like they were born with a gift, when in fact they are just born with the ability to allow self to emanate from them. That energy of self, that light, emanates from them naturally. And when that light does emanate from you naturally, after you've done all that sitting, for those that are practicing or wanting to practice mediumship, the more sitting you do, the more you allow that light to emanate from you. Like I've said before, it's like turning on a switch, like turning on a light switch. Spirits see that light of self, of who you truly are, and they will be attracted to that. They will work with that. They will impress upon that. They will impress that message into that energy of who you are. It will merge with you. You will feel it. You will understand it. You will sense that personality. You will get impressions of image. You will get impressions of thought and speech. It will all be impressed upon you. And all you have to do is give it to that loved one who is waiting for that message. I hope that helps. Please like, please subscribe. please pop over to Patreon if you'd be interested in any of my teaching. I will leave the description, or leave the link in the description, I should say. So have a wonderful day, evening, wherever you are in the world, and I'll speak to you all again very soon. So take care and bye for now.